Hi, everybody. Today I have a few things I'd like to talk about. I have some usual solutions and workarounds for for several different things. It has to do with editing, something every YouTube creator needs to do. There's different tools. There's free elements to use. There's subscription. And something came to my attention about a year ago. I was having fun, making some content for several of my videos, which are still posted on my channel. It was a CapCut that I was using, and CapCut for Android is, available for free. Of course, it has some paid subscription features as well. And what happened is I had made some content, and those elements, of course, get stored in your phone on your drive. CapCut itself does keep a copy, but it's not sufficient to go back and edit with just that copy. At least not for a free version. So I did some editing. This was several of my videos. Basically, I was using delete the background and insert a background, picture, an image. This is instead of using a, one of those pin-up things that you use for the very large tripods which hold, an image or a green screen or whatever you like, just a physical image behind you. Which, by the way, makes it easier if you're going to use a background remover and something like CapCut, because it doesn't have trouble distinguishing between you and your background because of the shade of blue, the shade of green. Or if you have a tropical, it's like a silky material. You buy these things on, Amazon, and they fold up into a carry-all pouch. And since it basically starts as a tripod, you basically secure it in place. And the large upright is taller than you are, and it goes out into a T. From there, you basically clothesline and clip with the clips that come with it. A 9x9, something of your choice. You have an instant background that way. It also helps if you're going to use, something like CapCut to do the removal of background. As I said, to basically get rid of the background, I can distinguish it better. A couple of my videos turned out absolutely horrible. I had to do with electronics, and I was showing something to the camera, and it would literally disappear. That effect never goes away. There's a problem. It was a free version, and I was pretty good at using it. But when I was reviewing the material before I posted it, it didn't show that flaw. By then, I had already deleted what they call elements at CapCut from my hard drive, and there's no way that I could fix it. Kind of didn't feel like making it all over again. I think I definitely lost the effect of the background because it just kept bleeding through. There was something that I basically shot it in my room, and it was supposed to look like a beach in the background. It did. It had that effect. But all of a sudden, you could see the poster just pop out. It was that scary. It just kept doing all this, but it didn't show when I first reviewed it before publishing it. So, inconvenient enough, basically, I no longer had the elements to actually go back and start all over again if I wanted to. Sometime early in the beginning of this year, I find out that particular feature for CapCut, the background removal tool, and the background insertion tool, which is basically from a picture that you upload, is no longer free. Okay. It's really not about money. It's the fact that this feature is not, anything but unreliable to me, and I don't think it's just CapCut. I think it's a lot of different ones that might. You see, there's alternatives, and here's where I really get into what I wanted to discuss. There's always the alternative. The actual background, which you basically get, like I mentioned, from Amazon. It starts as a tripod and it goes up into a T, and it basically holds at least 8 or 9 feet of your choice of backdrop cloth material. Green is a good choice if you're going to edit. If you're going to, spring for the money and edit, basically you have less trouble with it than that. I'm literally telling you I don't fuss with it because it ruined a couple of my videos, to be honest with you. So there are different ways, there are different choices. I've seen some high-powered content creators that really do get a lot of views. Simply just pin it up to the brick wall behind them. We're talking about a 9x9 backdrop cloth. It's not necessarily green or blue for editing purposes, but it is something they can basically show a moving background on. And cool as it sounds, it basically stays there on clips, on a clothesline. How is this better than the digital version? Well, the digital version failed me pretty well. I have to laugh it off. It's I didn't remake some of those videos. It was just too much went into actually writing it. So besides, it wasn't the end of the world. It's just really obvious just how much the real room behind me kept coming into the scene, and if I wanted to show something, it would just completely disappear. And all of that only became obvious after I deleted the elements, like I said. No fixing it. CapCut. Everything is great about CapCut, I have to be honest with you, except for, they have the added cost for background deletion, which I don't necessarily trust. I'm being completely honest with you. The alternative of having an actual background is more attractive to me. If anything, this room behind me is actually a lot less susceptible to have anything break through, and it's a real environment. So anyway, I just wanted to make that point before I went on. It's kind of interesting. CapCut has the basics for editing. You upload your elements and you can slide them together easily. You can edit them, take parts out that you want to just truly delete all before you save this to your hard drive. Volume, these are necessary for some reason when you're doing a video. It's this kind of thing here that basically has this kind of thing. It's USB-C. It goes right into the bottom of your phone, especially if it's an Android. Or the double version, which is good for having, interviews and stuff like that. You can see this one here. There's one for Android and one for iOS. They do work very nicely. CapCut. Again, they never fail people there. It's just for free. You can jack up the volume after you do your original master elements and recording. Very nice. Otherwise, without the microphone and editing, the only thing that I didn't like was the performance of the background removal and the insertion of the background image, which is an image taken from the internet. It didn't always have flaws, but sometimes it did. And when it did, I just can't. I don't like the idea if I'm trying to show it was something about a shortwave antenna, a small alligator clip used to, clip onto the antenna. And I'm like this in front of the camera, but you see absolutely nothing. I didn't realize that was the effect it was going to have. I should have remade the video, but I think the point came across even for that video. But I would never make the same mistake again. I must say I do learn from those things. This type of thing that you get from Amazon, the backdrop, you can order cloth from anywhere, AliExpress. It can be green screen. You might as well just get the paid version of background removal for, CapCut, because it is a premium thing now. I can't say it'll fail under all circumstances. It has something to do with lighting, it has something to do with reflection, it has something to do with the fact that I'm scared away from it personally. So I'm very likely to use the physical backdrop, if not just the room behind me. Okay, that's a lot of explanation. Sorry about that. But I just wanted to explain, there's, the CapCut basically now charges for that, the backdrop. Everything else is good. Essential tools that you need, the volume, as I said, is free. I think you can actually put your own subtitles in too. You type them up, is still, I believe, free. So basically, I learned from my mistakes. I don't rely on well, it's no longer free, but I wouldn't pay for it to be honest with you, because my experience with it tells me it's not reliable. The background removal tool. Otherwise, I have some videos that show a complete success with that. I mean, the removal process is all done within CapCut after you upload your elements, and once you remove the background, it used to do it for free. Uploading an image there is sometimes something that works very perfectly, but clearly not always. I'll stop myself. That's enough of that. There's some fun things that happen, really, when not everybody at a beginner level knows what some content creators, do know. So I want to share, a few things that I've learned, aside from what this the main topic was all about. CapCut is still mostly free, mostly perfect. These things here, the microphones, they're necessary. You can always, you'd have to have a little bit of experience with it. It's a lot of controls in CapCut, but they're reliable as hell by the time you basically adjust everything, shorten and lengthen, moving elements around, entire pieces of video, moving them around, is all done within CapCut, and then you save it and you upload it, and it should be perfect. Kind of interesting when you consider the idea really is to put some sort of interesting background in, and the easiest way is what some of the best content creators use. Just a simple physical, cloth background. Either it's pinned up on the wall or it's hanging from a, like I described, a T-shaped hanger with a tripod. Kind of a recommendation from me because it's simple, it's easy, and it serves your purpose too. If you want to get a shade of green or something, and you're going to use it with CapCut, and you get the paid version, it's clearly going to have no problem removing your background, because that's how you originally shoot it in front of, green in back of you is very easy to remove. Okay, enough of that. Here's a different subject, though. It's very interesting. A couple people have asked me, how you go ahead and take, you go ahead and take a picture. Of course, you're making a profile picture. So how do you do something like that? It's only a couple friends of mine that did that. Nobody's done that on YouTube. But when you have backgrounds that look like, Hawaii or, I did have a relative ask me one time, have you been to Hawaii recently, Tom? And I was like, no. So when you take a picture, removing the background from that, this is fun. This is flawless. It's free. It's even worth talking about. It's kind of neat, actually. Doesn't even involve CapCut, by the way. Profile pictures. Everybody has them. They usually end up real small. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, your bank, everywhere you want a profile picture. So you take a good picture. Take it from me. This is cool. I don't know if it's all the same for iOS, but there's an app you can get from the Android, the Play Store for Android, basically called Background Changer. Literally, that's its name. You upload a picture from your Google Photos, and you upload that, and it'll ask you two things: what's the background image, and what's the foreground image? The foreground picture is going to be yourself. So if you choose an image, say like the bamboo forests of, Google search term, by the way, bamboo forests of China or something. I come up with some really cool pictures. You could edit them in Photos first. You could, highlight the, turn the contrast up a little bit. You can do a few things and basically save it. Now you basically have something that you can work with in your background changer. So it'll browse to your photos. You'd pick that image, and that becomes your background and your foreground, and you can basically resize yourself, your image in there, how you want it, and you hit save, and that's a great profile pic. It's just whatever you want it to be. The worst anyone can do is say, well, why Hawaii? Why not the space station? Who cares? Honestly, who cares? But how you do these things, it's never been self-explanatory. So also you can run into some image size problems. So did you know there's from the same Google Play Store, it's called Photo and Picture Resizer, the aptly entitled Photo and Picture Resizer. Very easy to resize a picture to any size you want it to be. For free. I mean, seriously, you really, it's all these things you actually could pay for if you wanted to, but why? The free version works just as well. Nobody's taking it away from you. It's not like, CapCut, who's now charging you just to have background remover. Don't remove your background. Unless you're talking about pictures, photos, getting rid of your background sometimes is really good. It's never absolutely necessary, but it does make things more interesting sometimes. So being able to search the internet for those backgrounds, the best ones I've seen are actual background photos. Like from AliExpress. The bamboo forests and whatever else is like a literal thing they're selling, and somebody had to pin it up on the wall to begin with to take a picture of it. But they, the tripod holder, it's got to be at least taller than you are to, completely hold a huge thing to fill up your. I got my arms out to show you. It's the area behind you. That's beautiful. But you couldn't tell like a really good content maker that pinning it up on the brick wall behind them is not better. It's actually better to do that. Because, otherwise it can wave in the wind and cause all kinds of weird problems that you can't even blame on CapCut. So, but really, I've seen some, not to go off the subject, but I've seen some awesome special effects from some really good, successful content creators. And they even make like moving stuff go on. And they're not afraid to spend, more than a few bucks, to get access to moving things or even patented music. I mean, they'll pay for it. I just don't have that in common with them. Basic, good editing tools is what I really wanted to rely on, and CapCut almost scared me away for a while there. I definitely wouldn't do it for the the background changer thing, but you don't have to. You just get one of these big silky things and pin it up with a clothespin, and you'd be surprised. It's going to look good by itself, or you get a green or a blue with certain shades so that your paid version of background remover has no problem getting rid of your background for you. Those are definitely things I wanted to say to get out there. It's pretty much all on the same subject, unless you're talking about a profile picture. So how do you make the profile picture? Very, very easy. It's you start with a picture of yourself, and then you get a picture from the internet. Whatever it is, you just look it up. Mountain scenes, whatever you like. I guarantee you that mountain scene is only going to be 600 by 800, and you need a larger version. That's where photo and picture resizer comes in, or something like it. Because for free, you can pretty much blow that up into 2300 by 4700, and it'll be good that way. There you go. There's a good profile pic. It's so much of your choice it isn't funny. Theoretically, as long as you save your original picture, you could redo it over and over. One month you're in Hawaii, the next month you're in Tahiti. Different scenery entirely. By the way, these things here, for the volume, you need CapCut to boost the volume. But to begin with, this microphone is somehow necessary. I wanted to mention to you, it is USB-C. But if you're not sure if it's going to work with your phone, just like if you sometimes they have, available little thumb drives that you can put in there. There's another one basically in the Play Store. Again, probably just for Android. I'm not sure. It's called a USB OTG checker. USB OTG checker. Now, OTG, this app actually checks and makes sure that your phone itself and the hardware and the software is compatible with anything like that. It either says yes or no, but it's just a simple app that tells you, takes the guesswork out of it entirely. It's a free app. USB OTG checker. Probably works very well for iOS too, I'm pretty sure. There is really nothing else that I wanted to. You can tell how much it takes a little bit of effort to go through some of these things and to be. I don't know. My intention is to just do this very comfortably and easily, because a lot of this stuff is, very accessible to people as long as they know what to go and check for, in the Play Store. I think it's very easy for most people not to know, how do you make a custom background, for your profile pic? It's an easy thing to know, really it is. I just like to do these things. Sometimes when I run out of actual technical stuff to cover, I go into that. But you're going to notice recently the background behind me. I make no attempt to make additional backgrounds. If anything, I'll end up pinning something behind me on one of those tall tripod things. But you don't see me doing it yet. I happen to like this room, but anyway, folks. Thank you for letting me get that out there. I'm sure that step by step, the way I just laid out some of these things might be really constructive for some people. Anyway, thanks for letting me get out there, and I'll see you in my next vid. Okay. All right. Bye bye.